Good morning, FHS. We have a brand new newscast in store for you today. We're going to start off by talking about some basketball scores and then move on to discuss the upcoming semester tests.
The girls' basketball team had a great game on Friday. They played Havre and they won the game 53-36. They played Belgrade on Saturday, and unfortunately, although the game was close throughout, Belgrade pulled slightly ahead and won 56-44.
The boys' games went similar. We beat the notorious Belgrade Panthers with a score of 55-46 on Friday. In Havre, however, with a couple seconds left on the clock, the opposing team drained a three-pointer and we lost 44-42.
This next week, the whole school will have semester tests. We got a few people to sit down with us and tell us what they think about them.
Okay, so here I am with Miss Hazer. Miss Hazer, at our school, we take one test one day of the semester that accounts for 20% of our semester grade. Do you think this high-stakes testing is beneficial to students?
Well, I've done a lot of thinking about it, and I really don't think that for most students it is. I think that it's especially hard on two groups of people: the students that struggle the most with testing, who struggle the most with learning. I think that they obviously have difficulty, even with chapter tests and those kind of things. And then I feel that for our students who are in advanced, that it's one or more, several. Most people are in several advanced classes if they are. That the pressure then is tremendous on those students. And so I really think that 20% is too high a percentage for the test. I would probably be pretty comfortable with 10%. We've done it this way for a long time, so kind of used to it, but.
So my thoughts on semester testing and the high-stakes nature of them is as follows. Unfortunately, in life, high-stakes testing is a fact of life. Whether you go to college, high-stakes testing is going to pretty much define who you are in college. In addition, if you go into a skilled trade, anything in which you're certified to do, that's going to depend on high-stakes testing. And unfortunately, that is just a fact of life. I can think of almost no profession or college degree that is not going to depend on high-stakes testing. Currently in Montana, we have a huge problem with students having a hard time finishing finishing college in 4 years. And I think part of the problem is we don't have enough high-stakes testing. And I know that students probably don't want to hear that, but if we're going to be a college preparatory and a certified program preparatory school, we need to put more emphasis on high-stakes testing. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life.
Okay, so what is your view on the policy at the school for semester test exemptions?
Well, that one I have some mixed feelings about. Since we are giving the high-stakes semester tests, I think that the incentives, incentives such as, coming to, what are the activities, the October Challenge, the conferences, parent-teacher conferences and things like that. I think that it's a good way to get people there, but I also think that if we're going to say that these tests are that important, that they're going to count 20%, then we might be sending a mixed message, So as I say, my feelings on that one are maybe not as solidified as on the first question.
So my answer to this question is twofold. The first one is I don't agree with exemptions at all. Unfortunately, in college, exemptions don't exist. If you take the GRE or other graduate level testing, there's no exemptions to get out of testing for certificate programs. And I think we're setting a bad precedent by having exemptions at all. Now, saying that, they do exist, and that's fine. I do not agree with the fact that they're applied fairly randomly. A merit-based system might be more appropriate for the granting of exemptions. However, I also think that the school has a compelling interest to try to get parents to come to things like parent-teacher conferences and open house nights, and that exemptions are a good way to get parents out to do that. So the dichotomy is as follows. I don't agree with them. However, I do see that they're being applied in a way that is beneficial.
Do you feel that this high-stakes testing has benefited you at all in high school, like maybe to help prepare you for college?
Maybe for college a little bit, but they're hard and they stress me out.
Yeah, they probably help prepare you to study to make sure you get a good grade on it.
Yes, I would. It brings up, skills basic skills that you need.
What have your past experiences been with semester tests?
Not good.
Not good.
It was kind of confusing the way they set up the periods where you study and then you take a test and then you go to a different period to study, then you take a different test. It's confusing.
Are you aware that semester tests count for 20% of your grade?
Yeah.
20% of my grade is a lot to be put on to one test.
Dak, as a freshman, this is going to be your first time ever taking semester tests. Do you feel prepared at all?
Somewhat. It's kind of a whole new ordeal.
Is it a little nerve-wracking for you?
Yes.
This is Cassie Byerly, a former FHS student. Cassie, why don't you talk to us about what you remember being your most difficult semester test while you were at FHS?
I think the most difficult test I had here was probably Miss Smith's Advanced English Final. It's probably the hardest test I've ever taken in high school and probably the one I did the worst on. So.
Would you say that, a lot of high schoolers don't have the high-stakes semester testing like we do here at Fergus. How do you think that taking these tests have helped to prepare you for college?
Well, when I was in high school, I thought the semester tests had so much importance around them. I thought it was really dumb because personally I think that one test shouldn't make or break your grade. But when you get into college, professors can basically do whatever they want. And if they want to have your entire grade based on one test on one day where you might be sick or you might be dealing with something, then they can, and you don't have any control over it. And so I think it's a good thing because it teaches you to expect whatever and just to roll with it.
Okay.
So you don't have no choice.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to Mrs. Ruland, who recently had a baby girl. Her name is Delaney Catherine Ruland, and she was born January 3rd, 2011. She is healthy and weighs 7 pounds 3 ounces and is 19.5 inches long. Mrs. Ruland is doing well, and she and her husband have recently taken the baby home from the hospital. Officer Jennis's wife also had a baby girl recently. Her name is Kimber Jo Jennis, and she was born December 15, 2010. She weighs 8 pounds 15 ounces and is 20.5 inches long. The Jennises are doing well. We interviewed Katie Donaldson earlier this week to ask her about the 4-H conference in Atlanta, Georgia. Katie explained to us how she got there and what it takes to be a representative of Montana.
This is Katie Donaldson. She recently went to Atlanta, Georgia for
National 4-H Congress.
4-H Congress, okay. So Katie, what exactly is 4-H Congress?
It's just a chance for 4-Hers around the country to come together and just go through a leadership I don't know what it's called. Conference, I guess. Yeah, leadership conference for.
Okay, so what was your role in the conference?
Well, I was just a delegate for the state of Montana. There was only 13 members that represented Montana, and I just was a delegate, so I just went to the conference for fun. That's what everybody does.
Okay. So what qualifies you to be a delegate?
I had to compete at state 4-H Congress, and I competed in quilting, and I got second, so I got to go for that.
Okay. So what did the Congress accomplish this year?
Well, at Congress we get to do a lot of community service. I got to go to an elementary school in Atlanta and hang out with some preschoolers, and that was really fun. We got to listen to some speakers. I got to listen to Miss America. I forgot her name, but I got to listen to her speak. It was interesting.
Okay. That's cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
The olfactory lobes are lobes in the brain that perceive scent. And we all enjoy a nice smell every now and then. However, sometimes our hallways can be filled with the overwhelming olfactory explosion of Axe body spray. So if you choose to use the product, don't coat yourself in a layer of its aerosol mist. A small spray will suffice unless you haven't showered recently. So, in summation, remember to shower and not use an entire can of Axe on yourself as an alternative. Have a wonderful day, and remember, take it easy.
But take it.